Now when I say the fourth decimal, that means the 10,000ths place. Find the sine, cosine, and tangent of the acute angles round to the fourth decimal. I'll give you about a minute to copy this puppy down. Because time's running out. Sine, cosine, tangent of the acute angles. There's 3 angles to a triangle. And in this triangle, we have one right angle, which is angle T. Mr. Lopez, can you just blurt out what are the 2 acute angles here?
T and R. I mean, S and R.
Nice. There's your acute angles. Whenever we do trigonometry, it's always from the perspective of the acute angles. In other words, we never take sine, cosine, and tangent of T. You'll never do it from the right angle. It's always the acute angles. That's where the magic happens. So it's saying find the sine, cosine, and tangent of the acute angles. In other words, sine, cosine, tangent of R, and sine, cosine, tangent of S. So we're going to have 6 answers right now. We're going to go fast. Let's hammer them out. Ready? We'll go R first. Sine of R. Remember, short for sine is sin. We're not going to sin in here. Cosine of R, thank you. Give me a second here. And then we got tangent of R. Write these down. Equal, equal, equal. Sine, cosine, tangent of R. And then we'll do S later. Let's just figure out the sine, cosine, tangent of R. All right, let's dip our sushi in some SOHCAHTOA. Sine, there's S. Remember, this is just a made-up word, you guys. This is a made-up word to enable you to memorize the ratios. That's all this is. It's not a real word. It's a made-up word. SOHCAHTOA. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. All right, let's look at it. Angle R. Can someone tell me opposite, please? 12, huh? The side that's opposite R is the side that's not touching angle R would be 12. Over, what's the hypotenuse here?
13.
Thank you. It's always opposite 90 degrees. Thank you. So on your calculator, hit 12 divided by 13. If someone has the calculator out, please. I'd really appreciate it. 12 divided by 13, round the nearest fourth decimal. Help. 0 point something. Give me fourth decimal, all the way fourth. 9230. What's next to the 0? So it becomes a 1 then, huh? Thank you, sir. 0.9231 to 10,000 place. So all I did is consult SOHCAHTOA. You want the sine of an angle? It's going to be the opposite over the hypotenuse all the time. Sine. Let's do cosine now. Here's R. SOHCAHTOA. There's cosine adjacent over hypotenuse. Gracias. Adjacent means a side touching R, but there's 2 sides touching R. There's 5 and there's 13, but you always pick the one that's not the hypotenuse, so it's going to be 5. 5 over hypotenuse, again, is 13. Rocking and rolling. Someone with a calculator, 5 divided by 13, help, please. I appreciate it. 0 point something.
0.3846.
Gracias. Questions so far? And last but definitely not least, the tangent now. SOHCAHTOA. Nice. Opposite over adjacent. This is the one we're used to. We've been doing this since Monday. Thank you. What's opposite of R? And what's adjacent? That's a hypotenuse though. 5. Careful there. 12 over 5, I want to say that's an equal. We don't have to approximate that. 12 divided by 5, I want to say it's 2.4 exactly. Correct me if I'm wrong. My coffee may have not kicked in. My after lunch coffee. Let's do S now. I'll do it in Dodger Blue since they're going to win the World Series. Stop laughing. Sine of S, cosine of S, tangent of S. See, it's the other acute angle now, you guys. Okay, so sine, SOHCAHTOA, here it goes. Opposite of hypotenuse. Opposite of S. Help. Thank you. It's not touching S. Look at it. This is not touching S. It's opposite. Get it right. Hypotenuse is 13. Save time. Work smarter, not harder. We've already calculated 5 over 13, you guys. It was right up here. It was the cosine of R. So you can just copy the answer there. Look at it. Save time. It's approximately. So the sine of one angle is the cosine of the other. That's kind of a interesting little fun fact you can file in your mind. The sine of S was the cosine of R. Look at 5 over 13, same ratio. 0.3846. All right, let's go cosine S. Who can guess what the cosine of S is going to be?
12, 13.
Right, it's going to be the sine of the other angle. Look at 12 over 13. Let's just double check though. Cosine. SOHCAHTOA, cosine, let's see. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent to S, 12, hypotenuse is 13. Beautiful. Approximately then, I'm going to copy the one from up there. That's going to be 0.9231. Questions so far, you guys? I'm getting a deer in the headlights look from some of you, and some of you, I know you're with me, but it's hard to read some of you. It's all practice.
It's the same thing as like in the previous math class, like before math.
Right, Math 2 should have covered this at a more basic level. We're going to dive deeper. We're going to go into functions. We're going to have wave functions that have to do with these ratios. It's going to get crazy. But with my help, stay with me. I'll take care of you. No worries. Tangent of S. TOA. Opposite over adjacent. Opposite, 5. Thank you, over adjacent is 12. Notice the tangent of S became the reciprocal of the tangent of R. The tangent of R is 12 over 5. The tangent of S is 5 over 12. A little fun fact for you. Right, Medina? That impressed you, didn't it? Let's see. 5 divided by 12. Help. 2 point what? That's 12 divided by 5, huh? The reciprocal would be what? Somebody help me, please.
0.4167.
Gracias. Done. I told you it was going to be fast. 6 answers there. You with me on this? Yep. Cool. All right. Last example. Example 7. Now we're going to play some hardball. Forget the T-ball stuff now. You guys are going to bring some heat now. Let's go write example 7. We're going to solve for 2 variables now. Let's shift it to higher gear. Solve for x and y. Round to the nearest tenth. All right. Here we go. So when my family and friends come over to my house, I like to play a form of poker called Texas Hold'em. Does anybody play Texas Hold'em poker?
Sounds old.
That's on YouTube too.
Alright, we're done.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Ortiz ridiculing Mr. Munguia for the record. No, but it's a cool poker game. I don't gamble, but I like playing with family and friends just for fun. But the reason why I bring up poker is because when you do trigonometry, it's kind of like poker. The way you handle the problem, the path you choose is based on the cards that you're dealt. So when you look at a problem like this, you have to ask yourself, what cards did they deal me? What they give me to work with? Well, let's see. They first gave me a 38-degree angle, the acute angle. And then you ask yourself, out of the three sides, opposite, hypotenuse, or adjacent, what side did they give me in relation to 38? This 14 here, is that the opposite, hypotenuse, or adjacent? That's the adjacent. So that's the cards they dealt you. So I'm looking at the three ratios, sine, cosine, or tangent. Which one involves adjacent? Well, this one, look at. So the cosine and the tangent involve the adjacent. So those are the two ratios I'm going to use with this problem. It's all based on what they dealt you. So to solve for x and y, I'll use cosine and tangent. Let's use cosine first. Watch. Watch this. Cosine of the angle, it's always of the angle. Cosine of 38, right, Gomez? Sokotoa. Cosine equals adjacent hypotenuse, huh? Okay, so adjacent of 38, L. Thank you. What's the hypotenuse? Y. Let's rock and roll. Let's solve for Y now. I think I gave you a challenge 2 days ago for a free assignment pass. What do we do when the variable's in the denominator?
You
Do the op-
or what?
We multiply both sides by Y. Thank you, Ortiz. If we multiply both sides by Y, that'll eliminate it in the denominator, which is what we want. We want to get it out of that denominator. Let's bring down the equal sign. Let's see what happens when the dust settles. Bye-bye to that. I got 14 on the right. Very nice. I have y times the cosine of 38 degrees. This is not 38. This is the cosine of 38. That's some eternal ratio that your calculator will spit out to you once you punch it in. So we know this is some number, some funky, weird number, cosine of 38. I don't have to worry about that yet right now. But what we have right now is y times that number equals 14. Let's get y by itself. Help. Divide by that number, the cosine of 38. Whatever that number is, I'm going to divide both sides by it. Right now it doesn't matter what the number is, I just know it's some number. Anything divided by itself is 1. So I have now y equaling, just type that crap in your calculator, 14 divided by cosine of 38. Anybody get it from me? What's the nearest 10th? Tell me, please, somebody. 17.8, I love it. If I were you, I'd be practicing typing this stuff in, because on Friday you're going to have this questions like this on Friday, the next quiz. And that's just my wisdom encouragement for you. I'm not going to hold you to it right now, but nice. We solved for x. One more variable to go, and we're rocking and rolling. We're done. So we know y is 17.8. Solve for x now. I'll do that one in red. So I use the cosine to solve for y. Remember, because it had adjacent in it. Now I'm going to use a tangent to solve for x because it has adjacent in it. Tangent, 38 degrees. What does SOHCAHTOA say? Opposite over adjacent. Nice, nice. Opposite of 38. That's the side not touching 38. That's x. Over adjacent is 14. Nice. Let's get x alone. I'll multiply both sides by 14. It's kind of like a warm-up, if you remember. I'll bring down the equal sign. 14s cancel out. Beautiful. So x then, on the right side is alone, will be approximately, help me, 14 times 10 is 38. 10.9 sounds good to me. Anybody object? I don't have the calculators, you guys do. So 10.9. X and Y are solved for. Questions? Questions on this example? I'll go over more tomorrow.